YouTube, welcome to GeekShhh. All right, y'all. So Intel released its new Intel Core Ultra processors. This is the 245K, formerly known as the i5. Now the total cores is 14. The number of performance cores is 6. Efficiency is 8. Total threads is 14. Boost all the way up to 5.2 gigahertz. It has a base power of 125 watts and a maximum turbo power of 159 watts. Now, it also has the Intel graphics of 4 cores. It's different from what it was before. Now, if you need a detailed explanation on how this 4K transcode video process goes, please look at one of my older videos. I cut that part out when it comes to the newer videos, but it's a great detailed explanation. But nonetheless, let's not hold anything up. Let's get straight to the video. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get things started here. All right, so I got my I got everything set up, and under the hardware transcoding device, it just says Intel graphics. So that's all it says with this one. So let's go ahead and let me push this into the dashboard. All right, so let's go ahead and get things started. Let's check in with the system first. Right now we are a little over 5 gigs of RAM. For some reason it says F. I don't know why it says F, but it says F. That's just incorrect. I guess that's something with HW Info having a little issues right now. Nonetheless, this is not the F version. Here we go right here. That's the iGPU world. Well, the graphic portion of the CPU right now. So yeah, so that's the iGPU. Here go the wattage. Here go the overall load of the system. Right now we're hovering around 36 to 39 watts. So let's go ahead and get things started. I'm gonna do the first 3 and then I'm gonna skip to the 10th one, or the 10th or the 12th one, and then from there we're gonna continue. I don't want the video to be too long, but nonetheless, this is Glory. This is one of 2 of the remuxes. Same movies every time, so you can compare it to one another, man. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Classic movie, Denzel Washington crying on cue. Same thing. I gotta keep letting y'all know, man. This is when Denzel Washington was letting the world know he was no joke. He is the truth. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's going out to see Denzel Washington in that new Gladiator movie. I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing. Something that's kind of concerning me though, when let's check in the system right now, since this is a whole brand new CPU. So we jumped up to 7. All right, you see the CPU usage jumped up to like 15. Wattage is around 19. Here goes the usage, but it's really about this right here. This is what really stands out when it comes to the LGA 1851 platform. It's the video processing usage. That's what stands out the most. So under here, well, you already know. Let's go to the second one. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Shout out to everybody that's going. One thing that's concerning me about that new Gladiator movie is that Denzel is not using the accent. He's talking just like he an American. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I guess Russell Crowe didn't really even use the accent when he did it in the original one, but Russell Crowe already talked kind of different, so it worked. I don't know. I think he did kind of use the accent, but who knows? Nonetheless, this 6 cents, we went ahead and put it into transcoding. Let's get to the third one real quick. Now this should be better. This should perform better than the UHD 770 that we did when we utilized the 12900K for it. We right here, we loading up Hocus Pocus 2. I still ain't watched this, you know what I mean? I'm letting y'all know I still ain't watched this, but the first one was a classic when I was a kid. You already know how it goes. So I got 3 loaded up. Let's check back in with the system right now. We jumped up to 10 gigs. I might have to put 64 gigs in here for this. Total CPU usage 16%, 23 watts for the CPU, and this is really low, but like I said, you got to pay attention to this. When this starts tapping out, that's when we know it's over. Nonetheless, let's check in with we have 46 watts. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue with this and then fast forward y'all to like the 10th one. So it's real quick. So the the video is not too long. All right, y'all. So I went up to 12 real quick just to make the video shorter. So we have 12 actively going. Remember, if you see these icons go away, then that means, we're buffering. Is Talk to Me buffering? I just loaded that one up, so let's ignore that. But nonetheless, when you see them go away, that means it's buffering. I'm not sure what's going on. Talk to Me probably, are we tapped out? Is Talk to Me having issues? All right, it's playing. All right, so right now it's playing. Nonetheless, let's check in with the system. 20 gigs of RAM. Jesus Christ. I really might have to add, 2 more sticks in here. I got 2 more sticks on deck anyway, so I might have to add 2 more sticks to get the 64. It's definitely taking up memory. So 19% on the CPU usage. You see the core temperature, that don't really matter. CPU power, we're at 29 watts. The usage right here, 13%, but right here, the processing, we're pretty high right here. So I don't know. Overall, let's look at the UPS load, 61 watts overall. But nonetheless, we going. So let's continue to rock out. We stopped at Talk to Me. So the last Voyager, this was a pretty good movie. I'm not gonna hold you. One of the better movies that came out in 2023. Was it great? No, but I give it like a good solid 6 or 7 if I was doing like an IMDb rating. So 6 or 7, I think it was pretty good. You know what I mean? It kept my attention. It got the guy from Game of Thrones, the one that was doing all the, all the smuggling. They chopped off his fingers, if you remember Game of Thrones. So yeah, he did it. I believe they chopped off his whole hand, to be honest truth. So he was in there, and I thought it was pretty good. And they're gonna come out with another one from the ending. Looks like from the ending. So let's jump over to Evil. Where we at right now? Evil Dead Rise. I still ain't watched this one. Friends of mine told me it's a whole series. Like it started long time ago to watch the first one, and I was like, man, I don't even feel like doing all that. But nonetheless, a lot of people like this series. They think it's pretty good, but I ain't really check it out yet. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and push this into a transcode. Is it gonna go? All right, so it went. Let's check back in with the system. We up to 22. Jesus. All right, 19. Okay, over here, let's check in with that wattage first though. 31 watts, and it says we had 100. You know what I mean? But this stays low for some reason in this platform. This stays low, and you got to really concentrate on all of these. So I don't know what's going on. Let's go down to the total load, 64 watts. So all right, let's go ahead and continue till we can no longer go no more. Remember, when one of these icons go away, that means we're buffering. That means we tapped out. So let's go. What's the next one? Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now I'm not gonna hold you. John, what his name is? What the guy that got caught up with? Jonathan Majors, man. This guy right here in this movie, man, that guy can act. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Whatever they caught him with, trying to run away, they charge him with trying to run away from the white woman. It is what it is, man. One thing I know for sure, that man can act. I first seen him in a movie back in the day called White Boy Rick, and I didn't know who the hell he was, but I remember when I was watching that movie, I said to myself, whoever the hell that is, that can act. And I really felt that way again watching him in this movie. because I ain't seen him in a movie in a long time before watching this one. He had a lot of scenes with Michelle Pfeiffer. It was real good to see Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas. You know, I grew up on them back in the 90s, you know what I mean? So it was real good to see them in a movie. I'm glad that they added them in the movie, but his scenes, oh my God, bro. It's almost like, where we at? We're at 15? All right, let's go to one more, then we check back in the system. It's almost like he had me believing like he could really mess with Thanos. That's how strong of a character he was in there. I was like, maybe he can give it to Thanos, man. But then again, you know, I don't really know. I don't follow the comics and nothing like that. So I thought Thanos was just the strongest person ever, but it sounds like this person is just as strong. Too bad we're never going to see it come to fruition, or at least not in the near future. It's going to take Jonathan Majors a few years to go through that chitlin circuit to get back in the good graces of those white people. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But let's go ahead and put this into transcode. This is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I grew up on Indiana Jones, so I really liked this movie when I seen it. I don't think they disrespected the series with it at all. I think they did a real good job. I really liked this one. So let's check back in with the system. 25 gigs of RAM. Jesus Christ. All right, total CPU usage. You see where we at right there. That don't really matter right there with the temperature. 32 watts for the CPU. That's how much it's pulling right now. And you know, you see what's going on here. You know what I mean? But we got to keep going till it stop us. You know what I mean? Let's check back in with the overall watts. 64 overall watts on the total system. Nonetheless, let's continue till, you know, we can no longer go anymore. So we just did Indiana Jones. All right, now we going into some new movie. That was 16. Okay, so 16 is where we left off on the UHD 770. The UHD 770 wasn't tapped out. It's just that that's the last batch of movies I had at that time. I didn't think we was gonna go over 16, but nonetheless, we here on this one, and I called it quits on the UHD 770 at 16, but nonetheless, we on this one, we're gonna continue to go. Now, this is Never Let Go. This is one of the new movies that I was actually looking forward to seeing. Yeah, Indiana Jones just stopped. Yeah, I think that's a dub. I think that's Indiana Jones stopped. I believe it was buffering. Hold on, let's see. But this movie right here was disappointing. I don't know why Halle Berry signed up for this damn movie. The way they was previewing it with the trailer, I thought this was going to be crazy. I thought this was going to be the one. I thought it was going to be crazy. No, I don't know why Halle Berry signed up for this damn movie, man. But it definitely looked like a big budget movie. Like they definitely put money into it. It just did not play out very well at all. I don't know why Halle Berry did this damn movie, man. But nonetheless, The Watchers was better than this one. If you've seen The Watchers was definitely better than this one. It seemed like we tapped out. Indiana just buffered. Yeah, Indiana Jones is buffering. Yeah, we tapped out on this one, guys. We're definitely tapped out on this one. You know what I mean? We definitely tapped out. And this is at 100%. When this goes at 100%, I tested this multiple times. When this is at 100% now, you remember before when we was testing it before, this had to be at 100% when we knew it was tapped out. Now it's this one. So this is the main one right here when you know we tapped out. So nonetheless, it is what it is. We got 6 gigs of RAM left, so that's not an issue. 30 watts right here is what we consuming, and overall load is 64 watts. So there we go with this one. I remember with the UHD 770, it was like we could have went like maybe like 1 or 2 more. Like it was around the same performance in terms of the 4K transcode list. You know what I mean? 16 is what I was able to get through on this particular set of 4K movies that I use on everything that we do. Now, what we're about to get into right now is the AV1 transcoding testing. We're going to get into some AV1 4K. I want you to see how it is. I'm going to direct play one real quick. We're going to see how the system reacts to it. I'm going to do Rain Man. You can't see me doing it right now because I'm using the Plex app rather than that. Now, you see what's going on right here. It's not really, it's not really reacting at all like that. You see it's direct playing. You know what I mean? You remember when we did that, when we did the direct play before, things used to go a little crazy still. Feel free to go back to the A310 4K 4K transcode test with the AV1 transcode. Yeah, feel free to go back to that video so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, let's stop that and let's start transcoding. So we went ahead and stopped that, and let's start this one. These are 4K AV1 files. So we're going ahead and, oh my God, what's going on? Hold on a second, guys, because I changed. All right, so that should have fixed the situation. Let me, okay. All right, that fixed the situation. All right, cool. All right, so go ahead and start the one up right now. All right, you see we jumping up. Now we're not direct playing no more. Now they automatically push it to transcode. That's correct. So automatically push it to transcode. We at 45. We jumped up to 66 watts. And you see what the iGPU is doing. What's all going on right here. So let me push the transcode down to 720p. All right, Rain Man, classic movie. You already know, man. Come on, man. Tom Cruise. This is one that put him on the map. This is really what put him out there. So you see what the system is doing now that we're transcoding. Let's go to the second movie. So this is Van Helsing. I kind of watched this. I don't think I watched it all the way through, but I like what I saw with this one. I think they did a good job with this one. You know what I mean? I think, was it vampires he was chasing down? Yeah, I believe it was vampires. I saw the TV show before too, but yeah, this is a good movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. It wasn't bad at all. I think I finished it. I believe I finished it. Can't remember. But the CPU is kind of jumping up. You know what I mean? We had 65 watts, 6 gigs of RAM. Here go the wattage. The wattage is going crazy. The wattage is definitely going crazy. 133 watts UPS load. So the wattage is definitely going kind of crazy. So we did that one. Let me go to the third one, Full Metal Jacket. All right, get this one started. Okay, Full Metal Jacket. I never watched this one. I only got this one just to test on here, but the name is so familiar, but I never watched this movie at all, not even for a second. You know what I mean? I got it because it was AV1 4K, so I could test it out for you guys. Thank me in the comments. All right, so you see we jumping up now. We got 3 going. Package power is kind of stabilizing. You know what I mean? Things is going well. With this one, I guess we don't got to worry about that usage right here. With this one, it's more so about this. So interesting to see how things pan out. The UPS load is jumping up like crazy. Definitely jumping up. But nonetheless, 69% with 3 going. Now, you might think that, this it's nothing crazy, but compared to what was happening in my older videos when I try to do AV1, bruh, this is crazy. Compared to what was happening prior in those older videos, bruh, trust me, this is crazy. Just go back and watch my A310 for AV1 transcode test on the Intel GPU A310. I did that video. I put it up on my channel. So go back and watch how to see how the system was reacting with this one. So right now we got 4 going. All right. And you see what's going on here. It's stabilizing, hovering around 50%. Yeah, they go to gigs. And it's basically stabilizing right now. Stabilizing. All right. So we got 4 going right now. So let's go to the 5th one. The Creator is definitely a movie. I need to sit down and watch The Creator one day. I need to watch it because it definitely seemed like it was a real good movie. Now, here we go with The Bronx Tale. I like The Bronx Tale. It was, it was a good movie, but back in those days, like I always say, back in those days, man, the Goodfellas and the casino, man, it had a chokehold. Oh, all right, I guess we tapped out. Is this buffering? And that's not saying it's buffering, but is it buffering? Go to the dashboard. It says playing, but it's not playing. So did we tap out? I don't know. Is it buffering or what? Let's see right now what's going on here. All right, so it was the Bronx Tale. Let me push this to 720p. So yeah, like I said, Goodfellas and Casino had a chokehold on American culture, man. There's nothing we could do, man. Like, those movies was just so classic. But this was a good movie to watch, man. I can't sleep on it at all. I think this was produced by Robert De Niro, directed, produced, and written by Robert De Niro, something crazy like that. So right here, we got 5 going. Let's check back in with the system. And we're at 7980. 7980. Now, this is extremely impressive. It's extremely impressive because if you saw my old videos, first of all, let's make sure none of the icons go away. It's transcode in all 5. In my previous videos, when I tried to transcode with the A310, the A310 was not the issue. The Intel GPU A310 was not the issue when I was trying to transcode. The issue was the CPU. The CPU was losing its mind. Remember, I was doing it on a 10400. It just couldn't handle it. It was losing its mind after like 1 or 2. So now you see what's going on when you have the AV1 support in the CPU. When you have the AV1 support, you see exactly what's going on here. So it's definitely a different situation when you have the AV1 support. So it's going to be interesting to see if you pair one of those Intel GPUs with this CPU. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when you do that, because that might really give you some crazy AV1 performance, hands down. But this definitely has the AV1 support. You can just see it right there. We was able to do 5, and the CPU wasn't going too crazy compared to what it was doing before, like I said. All right, so next week I'm gonna be back with we're gonna do software transcoding on this one. So I'm gonna go up here, I'm gonna turn this off, turn off this, and we're gonna do software transcoding. So we're gonna check this out. We're gonna do the 4K transcode. Next week, I'm gonna drop a video with all 4K remixes. All these, I got 15 of them, all huge files. 49 gigs is the smallest one. And I think the biggest one is Zodiac with 70, I think it got 90 gigs. So that's gonna really put the pressure on the server. So right now we're gonna do the 4K transcode test with software transcoding only. So let's go ahead and get that going. So this shouldn't be doing anything right here. So you see how the system is. We back down to a little over 5 gigs of RAM. Let's go, man. Glory, man. So many legends in one movie, man. It was such an early movie, and it really showcased so much talent. A lot of the actors in there really took advantage of the situation, man. They really went on there to make you remember who they are, because they knew it was going to be a big movie. So shout out to them. All right, so we starting off, and you see we doing software transcoding now. We're not dealing with the iGPU, so we jumping up pretty fast. So let's look at the CPU wattage. This is crazy. With just one movie going, CPU wattage going like that? What's going on? Let me go into dashboard. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's crazy. CPU wattage going. CPU wattage jump. Okay, back stabilizing. Okay, I guess it just had to start up. So let's go to the second movie. Come on, man. Bruce Willis, The Sixth Sense. Come on now. Bruce Willis letting you know what he had. This was just one of the classics Bruce Willis had, man. Definitely a legend, man. A legend with a lot of medical complications right now, but he fighting. He trying to stay up. He trying to stay on top of it, man. He trying to fight through, but it's not really looking too good for Bruce Willis right now. Let's get one more going. Hocus Pocus 2. Y'all already know what I said about that. I definitely still haven't seen it, but nonetheless, the first one was a classic. Let's go ahead and push that transcode through and check back in with the system. Let's see what the system is doing right now. All right, so we getting up there crazy, 97, 85% without any hardware transcoding going. So the CPU power is going crazy, you know what I mean? And the iGPU is not doing nothing, you know what I mean? As it shouldn't. Let's see the total load. All right, so it's down to 60. So I guess that wattage, the CPU wattage stabilized. Yeah, so that's why it's down like that. So nonetheless, we got 3 going right now. Let's go to the 4th one, Home Alone. Classic movie. Remember, this is 1 or 2 remixes that's on this particular 4K algorithm that I got going on right here. So this is 1 of the 2. This is a classic movie from Macaulay Culkin, man. Macaulay Culkin, man, they got to come back and do another one of these, man. They got to do Home Alone 3. They have a Home Alone 3, but that's when Macaulay Culkin stopped doing them. So they got to come back with Macaulay Culkin, man. Let his son get, you know, he left his son somewhere. And I just saw his mother in Beetlejuice. I just saw his mother in the movie Beetlejuice, so it was nice to see her too. So, all right, you see what's going on here, but we can continue to go, man. Did it stabilize? 125 watts. We can continue to go, man, until it tap out. RESPECT, Aretha Franklin movie. RIP Aretha Franklin. This movie was just okay, like I always say, man. It's not really, it was okay at best. You know what I mean? It's not something I ever really want to rewatch ever again. Watch it one time, that's more than enough. It's more than enough. They really dropped the ball on that one. But nonetheless, let's see what we're doing right here. We're still over at 96, you know, 96%. Let's keep going until we can no longer do it anymore. It's Avengers, Infinity War. Come on, man. Thanos, man. One of the coldest characters I ever seen on screen. I tell people all the time, it's between Thanos and Marlo from The Wire. The coldest motherfuckers I ever seen on a screen, period. I don't care what no one say, man. Marlo was a cold-blooded individual too, man. So both of them, I think they the coldest I ever seen on screen, hands down. All right, now we up there. We getting up there right now. 98, 99. So I don't know. We just gonna keep going, man. So that was Avengers. Let's get to the Terminator. All right. Let's go to the Terminator. Now this is, I grew up on the Terminator, so I seen all the movies of the Terminator, and I really enjoyed this movie as well. They really didn't disrespect the series. They did a great job adding to the series with this one. I think they did a real good job with this one. So shout out to Terminator, man. When it's all said and done, when everybody talk about what was the best movie series of all time, I think you're gonna have to put Terminator top 3, man. So here we go right now. We're at 120 watts, hovering around that. I definitely hear the fan on the CPU kicking up like crazy. CPU usage is dropping back down. Okay. 104 watts right there. Okay. Okay. I see what's going on here. And what we're going to do on the next one, we're going to jump up to Sisu. Like I told y'all, I still have not seen Sisu at all. I have not seen this movie, but nonetheless, it's the 4K movie. It's already in my little 4K algorithm, so we're going to continue to definitely play it. I said I was going to check it out, but I ain't have time to check out Sisu. I ain't had time to watch this yet. Nonetheless, we're going to continue with it. Okay, let's go with the next one, man. Ambulance. This is the 9th one. Ambulance. This wasn't good. It wasn't bad. This is just something to watch, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jake. I forgot his last name. Gyllenhaal or whatever his last name is. He got a few good movies out there. He did a few real amazing roles. This just wasn't one of them. He actually had a real good show on Apple recently. I think it was called Reasonable Doubt. I can't remember. I think it's called Reasonable. I can't remember, but it's on Apple, man. It was a good show with an amazing ending. I'll tell you that right now. They did some. Oh, okay, we're at 100%. Let's see if this go through. At 100%, what's the wattage? 135 watts. All right, so it finally went through. Sisu buffered, so it's tapped out. Sisu buffered. Did it buffer? I don't know, but it's saying 100%, so that should be it. Let's see if we could do another one. The Nun, you know, the Nun scare off transcodes, man. You already know how she get down, man. I definitely like the Nun Part 1, and I like this one. I think that it complemented the first one as well. I don't think it was as good as the first one, but I definitely think it complemented the first one. But I liked it, definitely. So the Nun, let's see if it go through, because this is sticking to 100%, and this is at 120 watts. Let's see if it go through though. Let's see if it can fight through to it. The Nun be scaring away the transcodes though. I noticed that about her. She be scaring away the transcodes like crazy. But nonetheless, it went through. Nonetheless, no pun intended. That was the 10th one. And okay, Terminator buffering. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the dub. Terminator buffering. Yeah, that's a dub. It's at 100%. It's over. All right, y'all. So there you go. My overall opinion of this particular CPU is that this is not as strong as the UHD 770 or the UHD 730, but this is still an amazing CPU. Now, what you have to remember is this is Intel changing the entire architecture of their CPUs moving forward. So you have to begin somewhere. Even though I think this is extremely strong and very much so capable of handling Plex, as y'all saw for yourself, what this has that the older ones did not have is AV1 support. And I believe that's the game changer right there. So this is the beginning of the new Intel architecture. Right now, they're starting off with 4 cores, but next year, they're going to be coming with the 8 cores. And I believe that is going to blow everything out the water, particularly when it comes to Plex. Now, you got to understand something. A lot of people are giving Intel a lot of flack about these CPUs. We're at a weird space when it comes to gaming, and those people that's speaking on this have gaming channels. When it comes to gaming, what else do we need? You know what I'm saying? You only can utilize 6 or 8 cores anyway, so you don't really need, to have the fastest CPU out there at this point. Like, you can't even utilize it. So what I'm trying to say is, all these CPUs that's coming out right now with Intel focuses more on content rather than gaming. Gaming is already locked up. You could go get a 9900K, a 10700K, a 10900K, 11th gen, 12. It don't matter. You could get that and you're going to be perfectly fine when you're gaming. But what this is focusing on is the other things outside of gaming. And that's why the gaming channels are really giving this bad reviews. But I think for content creation, I think a lot of people, for compute power, I think a lot of people are going to praise this CPU, and it's starting somewhere. This is the beginning. It's only going to get better and better. So when it comes to compute power, that's all Plex right there. So this is 4 cores, but at the end of the day, the next one will have 8 cores, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be better and better and better. But this particular one right now, I don't think is stronger than the UHD 770, or maybe not even the UHD 730, but it's still hella strong. And if I was building a Plex server right now, maybe I wouldn't get this particular one. I will wait till the 9K version come out, and then I would get it. So I'll get the same CPU, just the 9K version. So nonetheless, next week, I'm going to be doing a part 2 to this, and I'm going to be testing all Remux, and then I'm going to test 1080p AV1, just to show y'all how that works out as well. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, my name is DeMarco Payne for GeekShhh. And last but not least, may the good news be yours.